first thing that we're going to do when we do a tasting is we're going to look at the colour, because this will tell us quite a lot. We look at the colour of this wine, and then maybe even if we hold it against a white background, we can see that it's medium coloured, and it has a touch of green to it and also a touch of gold to it. That greenness would indicate to me that it's quite a young wine. Like most things in nature, most plant matter starts off quite green and it develops colour and as it becomes riper. So that touch of green would indicate to me that it's quite a young wine. If we give this wine a swirl as well, and we just wait for a few seconds, eventually we'll start to see these tears forming down the inside of the glass. So that's glycerol. And the majority of wine is made up of water, but then there's also glycerol, which is either alcohol or sugar. So I wouldn't say there's a huge amount of glycerol in this wine, which would make me think that it's probably about average alcohol, something like 12.5%. What can we say about this wine just by looking at it? I would say probably that lack of glycerol and that sort of average amount of sugar. It's probably a dry wine. I'd say that it's a young wine, and it's probably coming from a cooler climate, which is correct because it's from Bordeaux, so it's a relatively cool climate. Give it a nice swirl, let all those aromas start to develop and start to be released from the wine, and then have a smell. So the first thing that I can really smell with this wine is all the fruit that's in there. It's a lot of sort of what we would call primary fruit, so things like apples, things like pears, things like lemons. But keep coming back to the wine, trying it again, and there's lots of different aromas that come out. Now it's slightly floral, slightly white flowers, slightly kind of lemony, slightly melony. So this is kind of indicates that it's quite a complex wine. There's a lot of things going on there. Now I'm going to have a taste. So what you see me doing there is this horrible thing that wine tasters do. We take the wine in our mouths, and then we just gently suck a little bit of air through the wine, which again helps aerate the wine and let all those molecules, aroma molecules, come off. And then I'll just wait for a second or so for the flavours to develop on my palate and let me think about them. So kind of with the nose, there's a lot of flavours which are very similar. I get a lot of that apple, some pear, some lemon characteristics to it. That really comes from the Sauvignon side of things. And then the Semillon, which is blended into the wine as well, also gives another element to it. So it gives some richness, some butter, some body, a little bit of smoke, some white floral characteristics. Yeah, this wine is, as I kind of could tell by the appearance, it's dry, it's clean, it's fresh, it's mineral, it's quite high in acidity, it's very low in sugar. And it's got a very youthful character to it. So it's nice and fresh and clean, zingy, perfect kind of thing to have with seafood, with salad. It's a very summery style of wine. Cheers.